Chinyarara, mwana wangu, usacheme inindiripo, lokutora mumawoko angu, usachemewe. Chinyarara, mwana wangu, usacheme inindiripo, lokutora mumawoko angu, usachemewe.
Linjani, hi, how you doing? Tete Rasta, yeah. Welcome me. It's been quite a while. I haven't talked to you. Yeah, let's wait for a few people to join in and then we can introduce our subject. Noctula, Linjani, how are you doing? Budi Julius, new. How's it going? Nice to see you. Nice to have you join me. Yeah, I just thought we'd catch up. Somebody came and asked, Tete, you can't be quiet. Tete, you can't be quiet. There's all hell's breaking loose in the Zimbabwe community again. Thank you so much for the sound check right there. I really so appreciate you. We're listening to Chiwoneso Usacheme. It's a beautiful lullaby, which I listen to a lot if I'm driving. So yeah, Alan, how are you doing? Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you for ages. Hope all is well. DPNU DJ, that's my tutor. We're DJing. You all know my skills, they're pretty good. And Lodza, how are you doing? Long time. So yeah, I just thought I would give you a little shout out and have a little chat about Olinda and Tytane. They've done it again. And there have been a lot of programs that people have been talking about the situation, what has happened more recently, as in like last night, as in the interview that Tytane did with Rumbidzai Vunzawabaya. Rumbidzai is Tytane's lawyer. So I know Rumbi is my friend, and I hope she's going to be able to come in and kind of listen. Because I'm not talking about people as such, but I watched the interview and I thought, wow, she's moving on with her career and focusing on the things that, are dear to her heart. So, Munosimba Charity, welcome, Mimi, Sobo, Pepe, and Tsungi. Right, so let's get right into this. I wanted more to talk to you as a health educator and a health promoter. So, and this the titillation and all the rest of it, Tete Rasta Roots is all about health, wealth, and happiness. It's also about championing African culture, African tradition. There's a lot that we can all pick up from what's been happening in the last few days. So mine is not about entertainment, as what others have been doing. I'm not here to talk and be derogatory towards Tytane. I'm not here to talk and be derogatory about Olinda. It's not my remit. And as a matter of fact, I'm just saddened by their situation. But I think there's a lot of stuff that we can harvest from that and think about as Africans and think about what can we do and how will we learn. So I've just done my hair and it thinks it can do its own thing. So forgive me. I'm out in Exeter. My settings. I kind of take February out for self-reflection and introspection so that I'm charged up and also observe things. But I was asked, just Tete, comment on this one. So let's get right into this. I wanted to just give a big shout out to Rumbi and say thank you so much for doing that interview. And a lot of you are stuck in the issues about ethics and is that the right thing for a lawyer to have done? Put that aside. Some of you will be thinking, is that the right thing for Tytane to have done? Put that aside. You all might be thinking, is that the right thing to have happened to Olinda? Put that aside just for a minute and bear with me. I want to talk about relationships and just look at their particular relationship. And I'm interweaving it into health, wealth, and happiness because that is my main remit, Tete Rasta. So there were some red flags when Tytane and Olinda started getting it on. She had just not long before ended a relationship, which was pretty toxic, very public, with Stana. And it was really, really sad to watch. And at that time, Olinda had been putting forward that she was actually suicidal. She was going to end her own life. It took the internet by storm. It broke the Facebook, not as much as what this interview has done. However, that's the magnitude and power and magnetism of this Zimbabwean woman. We'll talk a little bit about her, hopefully respectfully but truthfully as well. So one of the things I wanted to talk about in terms of kukuyambirai, imi who know so much and have perfect lives, is it's never a good idea to jump into a relationship as a rebound. Am I qualified to say that it was a rebound? In terms of time, look, you guys, the whole Stana Olinda thing was really toxic. And then shortly afterwards, Tytane, bless him, Mr. Nkomo, decided he wanted to be with OC. And I thought, wow, great. I want to give you another lesson. When you're engaging with someone in a relationship, please don't try and be a savior to nobody. He may have had his good reasons for wanting to be with her, which is fantastic. Good on you. But when two broken people or one broken person meets up with somebody who is in need of support, like to heal from a previous something, you're going to get your work cut out. So I don't know whether Tytane anticipated this, but I want to also flag up another red flag. A lot of Zimbabweans are thinking, inenika zvekuwana a partner ku diaspora, it ain't working. I'm going to go and find mine ku Zimbabwe and then I'll import them to America or Australia or Canada or Britain, wherever you are. I think it's great, but please exercise your due diligence. And it can be the other way around as well. Some people in Zimbabwe are saying, Ruda wangu go abroad and bring them back home. Exercise your due diligence. There are a lot of things about managing relationships and transitions that put unnecessary pressures and burdens in a relationship that can also lead to certain challenges where a relationship had a good foundation. But because you've also got to deal with the adjustments and maybe, especially for the men who end up coming to the diaspora countries, you're working as, some of the duties or responsibilities of parenting that usually you're not involved in Zimbabwe. And some of the men find that really pretty tough. So break up, jumping into a relationship shortly after a breakup without giving yourself adequate time to heal. And also anybody wanting to play the hero. I can handle this, I can heal this person, I'm going to do it. Well, merit to those of you who do it, but grown people do not need saviors. Kanama relationships are very strong. Be ready. I'll tell you my story. I tell it all the time that, when I lost my parents, my relationship broke down. And because I had to grieve my parents, I had grieved this, and I was raising a son by myself, I put myself off the shelf for a good long time. And I didn't want to entertain people because I wasn't ready. And, some of you will be like, oh, but you've been so single for a long time. I wasn't ready. And that's the kind of thing. Yekuti, you know yourself, for those of you who are singles, kuti, previous kwanga kwinechi, have you dealt with it? Are you ready? Are you good? Are you a vessel that can hold and nurture my new relationship and the feelings and be okay with it? Rather than go cheetah, kind of misfire because of things from the past. And I say this because we know that when these two were having problems, sometimes Des the man would pop in and interfere on some of the posts that were being done in a way that an ex-lover should not be participating in your active relationship. So I think that for Tytane, that probably poked him in the eye. The other dynamic, which is a new phenomenon, and I think it's becoming quite popular in our Zimbabwe community, is this Ben 10 phenomenon. This week we've had my TT up in arms because a young lady called Lorraine, the one who said Ndinyange, and she's gone on to set up her own business, kind of did a skit, and she was She was laying it down and she told her about a Ben 10. Ben 10 is a younger guy who ends up dating an older woman. Now, relationships like that do work. I've got one of my mbuyas. She had quite a wide gap in age to her hubby. Sekuru vangu na mbuya vangu, they are happy. They are living happily ever after, and they are not that much older than myself. I think Mbuya is about 6 years my senior, and Sekuru vangu is, what he is. So there's nothing per se wrong with dating somebody younger. Men do it all the time. Men are busy dating much younger women. So we're now in this sphere where this thing of a relationship of an older woman and a younger man is the trend. So Olinda is 36, Tytane was 29. So like a gap culture is not overwhelming. It's about 7 years. And Vangavaita commit to each other, which was great. And we also their lobola online. That's the other red flag. Public life. You want to put your things into the public domain, it becomes fodder for the public. So those are some of the red flags. I'm not saying people shouldn't enjoy themselves on Facebook. These are some of the technologies that Kudara, we would have to write a letter with a stamp, and then it will be posted. By the time Nyaya Shika Zimbabwe kuti Tytane Olinda are fallen out again, it will be probably 2 weeks. So it will be old news. So now we get it instantly. So the public life has also got a backlash. That's why sometimes you find me, I come away from Facebook because I don't want to belong to the public. I want to be with people, but I want to maintain a sense of privacy. And there are certain things that I put out in my public life, which I don't mind people knowing. And there are other things that are just simply no-go areas. So if you want a healthy relationship with yourself, a healthy relationship with your sweetheart, don't live a public life at the detriment of your health and your well-being and the sustainability of your future. Drawing a red flag here. And also, we know that Olinda in particular used to come on Facebook manisa any gossip or any disagreements that they're having. Not good, y'all. And also Tytane Akazomboita, that what did he call it? He called it a press conference, press statement about private affairs. Come on, guys. This social media celebrities, they overrate themselves. Raramaka upenyu kako kanendera ne pauri in your station. I can understand Tytane is a musician, but hey, yeah. Yeah, so I guess I'm laughing, and some of it is nervousness, because I never ever imagined that we would get to this point with these two. I can never laugh. You're embarrassed, but you don't know what to do. And today is one of those days where I really wanted to resign as Tete ever. Like, I'm never ever going to come back to the Zimbabwe community to talk to you. Because it's going to community. Can just imagine all our Tanzanian friends and Nigerian friends and Kenyan friends following the Zimbabwe debacle. From Yamai Titi, the last 48 hours with the Lorraine Wachita Maziraiva to ya Olinda na Tytane. Pane zvimwe futi zvakaitika not long ago. Nezvimwe zvevakadzi vari kurara nevarume vevanhu kunana mvenge uko. I don't frequent there, but people always kind of drop all those things for me. So guys, red flags. Saka kana paine ma red flags, guys, I want you to bear in mind, especially kana makurayira vazukuru venyu, kuti take your time, usamhanye. There is no competition, there is no race. So let's come into the skills now. Health. Some of you will be like, okay, Tete Rasta, why did you come? I am actually somebody who has developed services here in the United Kingdom for a private hospital in Signet Healthcare. Worked with them from 1998 to cover design rama services ku Blackheath, ku Beckton in particular. If some of you Google New Dawn, ndokwatai nemadzimai who are always emotional, in an emotional state. They thrive off emotions, and you're like, hello. So ndakazo kind of left that sphere of work to do more telehealth, because it burns out even healthcare professionals. So you can imagine, always emotional. kuya my emotions. Damn it, it's way too much. It's exhausting. And this is the bit where I want to teach the elements of a modality of training that I actually did some research on, and then we went to America in what year did we go? 1999, and then we learned about DBT, and then we came, and then I implemented this first service, pioneering service in the UK. So the modality is called DBT. It's an offshoot of CBT. But in there are 3 critical things that I want to teach you. And a lot of the men who come to my inbox, Bachida advice and help around, marital problems. I tend to do really private tutorials about how to manage munhu wako ari too emotionally charged. And I've had quite a few successes with brothers who didn't know what they were dealing with. And their sisters had seen me doing some tutorials on mental health in women's groups, and they said, talk to this one. We did some stuff, and they managed to stabilize their environment, create a good environment for the children, sometimes having to separate, because when very emotionally charged, sometimes it's damn zero you can do to regulate. So I'm not saying this in particular to say Olinda is a personality disorder, but I want to say that the overall texture of the problem that these guys have is that pane munhu asingagoni kumanage my emotions ake. Dysregulated, anoenda unoshambadza zvinhu zvake in public. Pazvinoshambadzwa in public, it creates a lot of drama, a lot of distress, and a lot of humiliation and embarrassment. It feeds this whole hive of publicity, which then soothes somebody. And after a few weeks or a few months, chokbaka food. So you start looking at trends. And for those of us who are schooled in this, we can see certain things that suggest that pane dambudziko racho rinoenderana neizvizvi. So for all of us, we've got 3 mind states. This is what I'm now teaching you about DBT. We've got our wise mind. The wise mind is where we all tap in when you're doing zvinhu zvine musoro chaizvo zviri wise. Usadana nemurume womunhu. Don't steal. Zvimwe zvinhu zviri wise. Save money for a rainy day. December mari yese haidyiwe so that vana vanoenda kuchikoro muna January. And then we've all got that emotional mind where we are firing off. Some of us, we are in the emotional mind here, happy, perpetually happy. And some of you are like, do you ever get sad? Actually, I'm extremely happy because there was a time I used to get super depressed. I've talked about this in the past. You can go back to my previous video. So I have a zest and zeal for life because I enjoy my life. Find my joy again. I mean, wouldn't you get depressed if your parents died in the same week? We're coming up to March, the beginning of March. My father sort of died on a Tuesday. My mother died on a Saturday. Then my relationship broke down in 2 months later. And I'm buying a house. Oh my God. And I was managing this project and finishing it off, trying to juggle all the balls. Some of them fell down. And then I crashed. I couldn't cope. So it's okay to be happy. But there are also those other emotions that pull people down: anger, resentment, hate, envy, jealousy. You understand? Some of them zvanga zvitaurwa about Tytane in his video. Nchamirirawo kunzwa Olinda kuti achanga achichi. So the emotional mind. Sometimes, this is what I want to just advise, is that a lot of women in particular are susceptible to being more prone to stay in the emotional mind due to trauma. A lot of people experience trauma in early childhood: sexual abuse, neglect, physical abuse, even psychological abuse. And so it means, Kuti, it's almost like having a vessel. You drop it and then it shatters and maybe has a crack. So munhu wako anenge ari bore to look at. Olinda is fantastic to look at, but panenge paine kamwe fracture kakadai so. Tete Rasta is great to look at, but pane kamwe fracture kandinako so. Kuti ukabaya ipapo, damn, you're gonna feel the wrath. So even with men, they can go through trauma, being beaten, alcoholic fathers, neglect or abandonment, things like that. can cause people to become emotionally charged. Sometimes you can even be having a conversation with somebody, mungotaura something, you trigger them off. Ato in an emotional state, and you're like, but I didn't do anything. Some of those things are from the past. And as we commune with each other and walk with each other, this is the element where kindness and empathy are so important. So as much as this situation has been so tortuous to OC and to Tytane, it's given us a reference point yekutaura about some things that are troubling people day to day. In diaspora, a lot of people live in the negative emotions where there is not good. Mukadzi wako haasi kukubikira, usi kuwachirwa, iwo ndiwato musikana webasa, maybe she's earning more than you and she's treating you anyhow, hachisina respect towards you. You see the repeat themes. Saka bambo vanoita depression, or kune mudzimai, you're working so hard here, he doesn't pull his weight, and you come back home akatogara 4 zvake haana kana kutombobika, and he's waiting for you to do the shift number 2. It keeps us in certain emotional states. So, for those of you who are in Zimbabwe, when you're dealing with people that are in diaspora, please be mindful kuti tinenge takatakura, malords are heavy. So don't abuse people that are in diaspora. Don't be expecting too much from them. And also, ingofona just to say hi, how are you doing? Murikuiona say February, how is March? What are your plans? Are you coming home? Or tumirai maputi in the post. Who told you that we don't like things from Zimbabwe? We all need a measure of love and soothing. I was looking at Olinda's worth. Anzi, she's worth $29 million. They bring beg hero. But how can somebody beg be so miserable? You understand? How can she be so sad? How can she go from Des to Tytane? So here's my point. There may not necessarily be anything wrong with Olinda. She's a remarkable woman to have portfolio yakadaro. Before she had Nandi, she had 2 babies, a boy and a girl, running a business, sorting herself out. It takes a great strength kuti usvike panzvimbo yakadaro. But it's not to exempt her to say, well, maybe there's something wrong, because takazombona madramas aya pakanga kuda kuzuraya nasitana. That emotional fragility suggests kuti anonyatsoda munhu ane moyo murefu. That's it. long suffering somebody. But before anybody long suffering comes, ndataura about my red flags. If you are not ready for loving yourself and being okay with yourself, don't put yourself out to other people, because you're going to put out other people's happiness and joy. So I don't know what the hell has been going on in the last few months, but there's accusation and counter accusation. Kanata kutarisa around the emotional mind. You see, kuti munanu janya button. A lot of you have been teasing people that go on Facebook and say, janya button. Munhu anenge apererwa kuti okay, saka ndoita sei nezvezvizvi. Hazvichisina that wisdom. You understand? And I don't know whether it's for lack of counsel, shamwari dzinoraira, kana kuti munhu anongozviitisa, anongouya ubaya utanga nyaya dzake. But here now we've got Tytane. He's gone and done this spectacular video. I will confess, I love the video. I love the video quality. Mwah, mwah, mwah. We want more of that kind of quality of stuff. Content, it's up to them and the producer. I believe they did do a disclaimer that, they were trying to bring about lessons and teach people about experiences in diaspora. So there was a disclaimer. This was aired on Rumbi Vunzawa Baya's personal YouTube page. YouTube. She's got a YouTube where she runs a business there supporting people. So this wasn't done in a way of malice. It was actually pre-recorded, edited, and so on, and the quality was fantastic. But it was loaded with the kind of things that would trigger off somebody who gets emotional. And I don't know how you would feel if you have a medical condition and somebody takes liberty to disclose it publicly. And this is where maybe I'll fall out with a number of people. I am a healthcare professional, so I'm not speaking as a nurse or a clinical advisor, but I'm saying that Tytane's got a right to tell his story. He's been quiet for the longest time, and a lot of us didn't know what the hell was going on in that young man's mind. And especially when he started talking about it's better to live under a bridge than go back there, you really start getting a sense of what on earth is wrong. And sometimes when we treat people in a certain way, it can have a cumulative effect of hurt. And I just wondered, when we're looking at the emotional mind, that when he did that interview, he was really quite composed. He was composed until he broke down. Of course, his story was really rather sad, but wouldn't you be? So I didn't get the sense that he was doing it vengefully, although the effect for most people's account is zvaiitwa baba nandi zviye zvite. That's for you to judge. He knows the consequences of his actions, and he will live by them. And I think if he felt, look, I want to just let it all hang out because other people take advantage of me and treat me like I'm an idiot, and yet paninyaya wuru, which is the reason why I am where I am. Fair dues. I'm not going to comment on that. But what it effectively did was really trigger Olinda. And so I am dreading the next few days. What the hell is going to happen? I understand she shut down all her Facebook pages, which I think is pretty good. It's pretty wise. And I'm sure she's planning, right? What am I going to do? Because kapesona kuti andinzwaro. And Mimi, I always said there was a deeper story to the OC saga. Absolutely, Muningina. There's always a deeper story. There always is. And even when people are like, oh, ko indau yasina kurorwa kana kuti indau zvichingodai so zvichingodai so, munhu anenge akabva kwakamutsotsonya hamba, they want just a relief or a reprieve. So wise mind, emotional mind, and then the rational mind. I'm hoping Olinda is taking herself away so that she can work her emotions and the wisdom, right? Doita say, ndine business rangu, this is not going to push me over the edge. And I pray, Nyasha Kuti, this is what she's going to summarize. She's a beautiful creature, a beautiful human being with so much love. I mean, the kind of things that she has done to bless the men who were in her life. Goodness me, if I was a man, I would really make all the efforts to kuchengetedza munhu akaita so Olinda. And maybe because ndine ma skills, I would know exactly how to handle some of these things. But, you know, whatever is the deep-rooted issue, iwewe wanikwa, in this thing as it plays out, find your state of mind. Are you going to be in the emotional mind? You're going to be one of those on it to torment and hurt and humiliate. Are you going to be wise and say, you know that could happen to me? I'm just glad that when my things were falling apart, there was no social media. My goodness, I would have hated for my son to have to go into social media and find how spectacularly, how perfectly me and his father executed our, earthquake departure from one another. And that's the bit where I now start thinking about, what about the children? And then I start playing Chiwonesa's song and thinking, oh my God, this is not good. So give me a second. Yeah, so darling Olinda, usacheme honey. Things are going to be fine. Tytane, usacheme ofuti wewe. Find your rational mind, find your emotional mind, and then use wisdom. Even despite what has happened to you two guys, you are human beings. People who even felt comfortable to strip off your clothes and be in a bed together. Please, soon, find a way to at least say sorry to each other, because sometimes we do stuff that we think is helpful, but it's hurtful. Vana. So I'm thinking about the kids, Tete Rasta. I'm thinking about the extended family. Yeah. I'm thinking about the extended family in particular because they are now caught up as collateral in the story of these guys. Can you imagine, guys, if you had relatives? Don't go there. If you had relatives who were acting out and acting up in this way. Mimi says, how do we support sisters who are emotionally charged all the time? I really wish I could do the welcome button, Mimi, because you and I, we've spoken about this a lot of time. And this is the bit where, you know, self-care is so important. I'm going to come to this now. Thank you for that, Mimi. So this is a question that triggers the rational mind. Kuti, saka iwewe, you are an observer in this OC and Tytane debacle. How do we help the sisters? You know, there are also men that are also dormant and they stay in the emotional mind. So it's not just a feminine thing, but it's predominantly populated in the women. I don't have the statistics because ndakanganwa laptop yangu. I was in such a rush. I brought the charger, but I forgot the laptop. And I said, Chico, put the bags in the car. And I don't have that. So, wise mind, emotional mind, rational mind. Saka, the wisdom is, so where do we get the help? You want to understand now, Kuti, what's at play. MuDBT, we talk about emotion regulation. Saka, emotion regulation, distress tolerance, mindfulness, and interpersonal effectiveness. First of all, you've got to recognize the emotion. Saka, distress tolerance. How did Tytane feel when, I can't remember their last big fallout. It was terribly humiliating. But sometimes when we push people and we push people and we push people, they will have a reaction. He didn't act out, but how did Olinda feel when Tytane put out this video? I just dread to think what was the atmosphere for anybody who was in the room with these guys. Saka kana munhu akuita distressed, you need to recognize what's the emotion. Pane anger here. Some people start throwing things around. Some people start smashing stuff around. Some people become really vocal when they pick up their phone and they're on the phone and cussing. Some people drive to the place to really finish it. Let's take it outside. Some people beat each other up. Some people kill each other. So that's where, you know, I just feel it was probably a blessing in disguise that Tytane left that marital home. Because when my emotions are never distressor to a point that maybe not distressor to the point of I'm ready to die. She's a wimp. We all have different capabilities and acceptance of situations. This is the bit where now some people are triggering people off, and then they don't realize at the end of the day, it's that person's individual choice kuzviuraya, like this celebrity Flak akazviuraya manje manje. But it's going to play on your conscience because you've been the trigger. So maybe I should do a series because there's loads. When we do therapy, we take people through therapy for 6 months to 12 months, depending, or we used to, depending on how well they are. So emotion regulation, kune ma skills ekutodzidzisa munhu kuti how do you manage your emotions kana wasvika pakadaro. Inini zvangu, I manage my emotions dysfunctionally in this way. I used to eat a lot. I used to buy whiskey and enjoy. Drink myself into oblivion. I've stopped all of that. I face the situation. I diarize. I write things down. I problem solve, and I also make point to use certain skills that say, okay, saka izvi zvaitika, antecedent, chii chandaita inini to trigger it off. You know, sometimes pane vamwe vanhu putika so, and they create such a big palaver. So they become super cross, but they have actually triggered themselves off. So this is where a lot of the guys also do struggle, because some of your ladies are drama queens of the highest caliber, and you're perpetually being blamed with so emotion regulation is also about just checking yourself. Just stop your mind, stop doing anything, don't react, don't speak to the person, walk maybe into another room, play music that will soothe you. Some people go for a walk. Even Tytane anga achitaura kuti sometimes ndanga nchibuda mumba and go for a walk pandozodzoka ndakirwa pansi. Hey, saka iye ari kungoti rega ndibude mumba ndiende ndinofamba, it will help to cool things down. Munhu ari kusara achitrigwa achiti saka aenda kumbonotaura nemamagero saka achadzoka mumba. So you see now the toxic relationship starts happening, and then this one's perception and that one's perception zofuser, and then it lights a bomb. And this is the bit where interpersonal effectiveness is the other element now, where you guys have to learn to talk. Not to talk at, because uyu munhu mukuru kana munhu ane 29 munhu mukuru, and kana husband baba, there's certain decorum in terms of our culture that you decided to marry a younger man to you, but ndi baba vemumba, you talk to him and address him as your husband. Munhu akabhadhara ropa Facebook. And so I think that some of our sisters who are taking liberties want to live like the feminists of the developed countries, but we are Pan-African. If you want your things to be successful, wakabvuma uro kubhadharirwa rora, pane tumwe tu etiquette tunofanirwa kushanda, ndo panozopinda role yana Tete. When you go for your walk, tora phone utaure na tete vako, kana vari kumagunji, kana vari kupi, and the help of vanhu vakuru who've been through much of life's experiences will help you to calm down. You find icas inga psychotherapy ini ndiri muLondon, but vari kukanika vachifixa. Sometimes it's about going kuna sekuru, his mother's brothers, kuti ana sekuru, you know, muzukuru wenyu ari kundiita busy, because sometimes ana Tytane need to hear the man's vocal cords achiti iwe mfana mukadzi uyu she's older than you, but uri baba, but usa entertain my messages per WhatsApp from other women. So if a Tete is saying that to a young man, it comes across differently to if the decibels are from anasekuru guiding their vasukurus. And this is the bit where Tete Rasta comes really quite important and breaks a Facebook free February to come and talk. We are not using our institutions of anasekuru, anatete, anambuya, anamaiguru as well, anababa mkuru, anababa mdike, anamainini, because all of those people, they are involved in your marriage. Everybody chopped the money. Somebody took a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. That is why when you get married as an African, especially as a Zimbabwean, you are not just marrying Tytane, you are marrying the whole clan. So when there are problems, that clan is there for you. And they don't want things to be publicized and done anyhow, because they're there waiting for you to give them permission to counsel you, or to take the load off, or to speak to their brother in a way that will help to progress you. So it's seeming as though I'm leaning over to too much kuna Tytane, but I'm not. So even kuna Tytane, you have to go kuna na Tete. Kuti, I've upset her again. Then they'll tell you to listen. She doesn't like this. She has always been like this, even as a girl, and you should have studied that before you married her. Saka chakudzidzisa matrix. You see, the beautiful thing about our extended family is the whole clan is your kind of your library. Kuziya kuti munhu wako akaita sei. You know, a lot of us, we don't bother. A lot of my varoras, they're like, oh, your brother like this. I'm like, let me tell you what helps with this one. And then I counsel them, and they start doing it. Because I know them from 48 years ago when I was a baby. So some of our African problems are within our family clusters. And so this is the bit where some of you think, right, I've been to abroad, so I don't need to talk to other people. You are missing out. Let's go for counseling. Let's do counseling. In our African penances, we have our own ways of sorting out without going to third parties. Patinozoenda ku-counseling, it's very Eurocentric orientated. Ndo vanezinga kutanga kuti divorce and do this and do this and do this. Whereas in ours, unotombonzi uri kunetseka nechiko iwe, imboenda kwatete uko, umbonogara ikoko 3 days. Give him time to cool down. And it's not a stamp down. It's not good you've lost the argument. It's just that no wisdom, wise mind. So a lot of us are looking at our culture and grasping kuti varungu vakazoita evidence based what. But we've got the wise mind, we've got the emotional mind, we've got the rational minds within our clusters of Ubuntu, Unu, Chivanu. Saka musazvishore at all. And sometimes as well, I want to believe that a lot of people are not sorting out their problems as families. They're running to churches before they deal with things in the home. And then you may find that the lady runs kunema pastors to church or to the counselors, which is fine. I'm not saying don't do that. But they don't know your family. They don't know your ins and outs. So the first institution I would recommend to you, if you've got problems of any magnitude, run to your immediate family. And even through courtship, Tytane would have sussed out kuti ko veku family kwa Olinda wandinonyatso zembera kana zvanyatso shata ndiani, who can I trust? And Olinda will have sussed out kuti kwana Tytane, who can I really lean on and trust when I'm having this problem? I can talk to them and they're not going to yappy and do all of this. Because what now Ana Zimbo Live are doing, and I'm thinking Zimbabwe social media, they're taking the job rana tete nana sekuru ana mbuya ana bamkuru ana bamnina ana mainina ana maigu wo vorombodza vachikanga vachibika in a way that accelerates their views. Quite sadly, they're in business. Don't begrudge them. You brought it to social media, they'll take it, do that. But your sister is not going to go telling the whole wide world kuti ish akazorohwa akaningirikini, because vachakugadzirira try and bring about a good outcome. So I'm just trying to mirror the parallels between the therapies that we learned and Chivanu, because in Ubuntu we've got everything, and that's the kind of stuff that I feel that as Mazimbo we need to be exploring a bit more. Sorry, but fun. Let's see like this. Okay. Okay, Ikadona is because I'm not balancing it well. So you got interpersonal effectiveness. You got interpersonal effectiveness, the ability to suck up your pride. Tete, munozichi, ndazoona video ya Tytane achidai so and ataura zvandirwadza. Ochema, crying their bosom on the phone or face to face or whatever. Ndoita say, seek counsel, seek help. Usati wabaya button. Na yo Tytane. I know you were doing this for whatever, for consolidation and teaching others. But what about the children when they now see you having betrayed their mother like this? Kaneko gorgeous Nandi, pakachazona video yoyi. What's she gonna say? What's she gonna think about you? I think this is the bit sometimes where people fail to do a cost-benefit analysis. A cost-benefit analysis where you say, Chandrukuda, I want to buy a pen. I want to buy a pen that's right. That writes. This is a fountain pen. Good. I have to buy cartridge for it. Big-ish. I can buy one. I've only got £5. Saka ndikada kutenga ish. Ndiye £5 mari yese yopera. Ndikada kuita video and it bends my goodwill with my children. Ndaite as a man. Dopanda kudzoka pa ubenten pepe yekuti, you know, sometimes madzimai murukuda kudanana nevari younger than you. Please don't be discouraged. Murume ndiye wawasarudza. Go for it. But maturity levels anosiyana. And if, for example, Munakaita Sai Tytane had gone to his sekurus and said, Ana sekuru, pani video irikuda kuitwa. Do you think it's good for the family? Is it good for the family brand? What implications are there for the children and so on? They would have advised you to protect the family name, dude. I'm not saying don't do it, it's your life. But that's the bit about wisdom and rational mind and the emotional mind. You weigh out the balances. Wait a choice for you as a man where your children will stand up and be proud of you for the rest of your life. Kanandi kura kachiti. You know, my father, he may have broken up with my mom, but he respected her till the death. Now, they are all now having to deal with mom's health status is public. Be it true or be it false, but had you not opened your mouth in that way, you might have. I'm saying, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying don't do it, but because it's done, but you may have protected the goodwill of your children toward yourself. And I think you shall pay the price to the quantity that you are deserving in future. And your children shall give you the ample feedback and mubairo about that long after all this Facebook fame has passed. And was the punch below the belt to Olinda worth it? Well, emotional mind, did you feel good about it? Did you give you the satisfaction that you desire? Antecedent, what caused you to do the video? Behavior, yes, we saw you talking about her. Consequences, now this woman is distressed because her alleged HIV status is out and about. Thanks to you, dude. And you are the father of one of her children and you remain the stepfather to the other children. So, was that a wise thing to do, dude? Did you think about the consequences adequately? And what about those that did the video? Look, guys, I am not a hater of nothing. I know Rumbi very well and I respect her. She's a professional. And I know what she's been trying to do with her channel and what she will continue to do with her channel. And I wish her all the best. Knowing certain people with a reactive personality in this way, if I was doing this show, I probably wouldn't have done it like that. I really wouldn't have done it. We are our sisters' keepers as well. Let's not forget that. I think that's one of the things in the Zimbabwe fabric that we are missing. Kuti, we go for broke. I like this person or I don't like this person. I'm going for business. I'm marketing my product. Chichi. What about Ubuntu? What about Ubuntu? What about if it was your children that are having to watch your status being publicized like that on a YouTube TV channel? How would it go down for you? Just a question, a rhetorical question, guys. Please, ndosaka Tete Rasta vachishedzwa. I just pull the punches. That's why I'm loved and hated worldwide. So Nhlanhla said wisdom is very important. Sometimes you need to avoid other things. Absolutely. And you know what they say? The elders say pride goes before a fall. Sometimes there's a saying in Shona which says, if you keep quiet, what do you lose? And that's that bit where, you know, sometimes how do you repair this fractured relationship with the babies, especially looking at their different age groups? That's my fundamental question. Duchess Clear, I haven't seen you on my lives for a long time. Let's see. Today you said I've learned so much. Me as an auntie Futi, I must do better for my nephews and nieces. Today I learned. Ngiyabonga kakulu, my sister. That means a lot coming from you. And the guys that used to come and say, Tete Rasta, mukadzi wangu akadai. So Duchess Clear has got a group for ladies, and that's where they invited me to talk about mental health. And I sort of skimmed on some of these issues over there because I am a renowned mental health practitioner, although I don't do so much of it now, but the skills are still there. Sissy Sophist Look said, Sissy, how does he look in the eye now when he is picking his children? Well, this is the thing, my sister, about collateral damage at your was the consequence, the emotional payoff, whether it was happiness, yeah, good, I've paid back for what she has given me grief, or I've now said my piece, so now the world can look at me as somebody who didn't just want papers. Was the price worth this level of betrayal? And you might be somebody living positive. Are you now scared that your partner is going to disclose your status? It's opened up a whole can of worms, guys. And what if you are negative? And you're now wondering, did my partner Did my partner not disclose? So I guess it's a gift from Olinda and Tytane that we can now talk about these things. If we're going to get anything from this conversation, let's thank them for that gift or that permission to tackle this issue. Hi Kim, Moyo Muri right here. Simba, long time. I'm actually in Devon. You must invite me to your house. I can drive over and see you one of these days. Kim says our solutions come from within ourselves. Indeed, Tete, we need to humble ourselves enough to accept counseling from each other. Absolutely. And I did go on Zimbo Live TV and make a contribution. I said, Tete, I didn't say my name. But I was saying counseling only helps for people that accept it. Do you think Olinda's friends and Tytane's friends have not been trying to counsel them, say, stay away from social media, do this and do this and do that and the other? I think they've had a measure of success because these two haven't killed each other yet. But I'm sure they could have done a hell of a lot better. And certainly I feel sorry for Anatete Vivanava, Nanambuya Vivanava, because if they allowed them to counsel them and guide them in the Ubuntu way, the Wunu way, we would not be here today. It's out of the African lane. It's really discorded behavior. There are a lot of people that have big fallouts, mind you. You don't see it on social media. Yeah, so no marriage or relationship is perfect, but you must choose your timing and you must weigh up the cost. Wisdom, emotion, rational, balance it out so that you're not feeding the emotions. Because an emotion is like with sex. You have sex, you orgasm, that's it. 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, that's it. You sleep, you might not have sex for another week. Some of these emotions that you get from a high of, yeah, I fixed this one, I got the upper hand. You might have video in 30 minutes. The whole world is like, ah! Tomorrow there's going to be different news. My TT is arriving in the UK with her Ben 10. Everybody's going to be looking at that relationship because everybody's thinking, oh my God, these Ben 10 relationships are cursed. Who on earth wants to have a Ben 10 relationship? Guys, don't fret. Some of them are working. Tell one of my testimonies. In fact, those that have got Ben 10 relationships, keep very quiet about them. Shh. Don't tell anybody. Because the older men are jealous, the older women are now getting it on. Getting it on with the younger guys. So it's not about the person, it's about maturity, wisdom, emotion, mind, manage your emotions, rational mind, manage the emotions. You know, I just imagine maybe Tytane going to Oxford and saying, look, with a big bouquet of flowers, look, I was bang offline. I'm so sorry, I'm going to do a live and tell the whole world this. That's going to put Olinda in an emotional where she will actually be nurtured and loved and protected and valued as a woman who carried this pregnancy for 9 months and had I don't know whether she had a cesarean or whether she had a natural birth. But sometimes, Varume, you must think about this. Women go through so much. And you just take them for granted. No matter it's the mother of your child. And I'm not saying it in a bad way to say but everybody's got their kind of special person. You can imagine somebody with me as their special person. Say and auntie, this is another good counselor, Charity. Anzi, disrespect is not feminism. Yes, disrespect is not feminism. It's also Pan-Africanism. We don't do feminism at all because feminism yakauya ne agenda. Yeah, the suffragettes, the white girls who were tired of their white men treating them anyhow, sleeping with slaves and having children out of wedlock, and so they created and not being allowed to vote. So they created this feminist movement that enabled them to vote. But when they got what they wanted, they didn't bring the black man and woman on board to get their vote as well. So a lot of people, they buy into these philosophies, emaduna, but they don't understand the history of it. So no disrespect, guys. If you're a feminist, stay in your lane. But I'm just saying, if you want to be a wholesome somebody, if you're an African woman, are in a relationship with an African man who's traditional or cultural, stay in your lane. We've got our ways of doing this. Say Olinda had gone to a feminist and said, what shall I do? The kind of advice that she would get would be very different from if she goes kuna tete wake and she counsels her, or mbuya vake, and they counsel her, kuti ita so, or semunhu mukadzi anobva kune vanhu. You all know what I'm saying. Some of you have been there. Nzou Soko says lawyer vaya ndo zvinoita malawyer kuti you do a show muchitaura nyaya dzemaclients enyu. Zvakaoma zvaloya vaya kuita create a show on someone's pain. You see, guys, you must take time to get to know Rumbi. Her page is called Rumbi Vunzawabaya. She's got a business where she's not just a lawyer, but she does a whole lot more. And so Tytane story is just one of many where they're looking to educate the community about things that go wrong and how people recover from such situations. I think her storyline was perfect. I just think the disclosure of somebody's HIV status is what's got her, that's put a bee in our bonnet. Because we've all been wondering, what's wrong with him? So, I mean, look, I stand to be corrected. It's up to you. You can go there and have a look. Captain Tay, you said relationship is fractured. I wondered how it's going to be repaired. So sad. And this is the saddest thing, because how are you going to repair this? And you see, pachine issue a custody of the children. You still got to go pick up the kids and have them for the weekend. What's the atmosphere going to? Are you even going to have the kids? And so lawyer, did she really put her mind to all of this and think, how is it going to affect the dynamic? Tytane, did he really put his wise mind to say, how is this going to affect the dynamic? So the interpersonal effectiveness, sometimes people get involved in stuff because they can't say no. It's important to say no. A lot of people, they ask me, Tete Rasta, please, can you do this? I say, no, I can't. Sorry, I don't have time. There's certain things I say, yes, I'll do it. But so if I've said yes, I'm definitely going to come back and honor my promise. But sometimes when people ask you to do things, do your cost-benefit analysis, wise mind, emotional mind, rationalize. 5 years time, how am I going to feel about it? 10 years time, how am I going to feel about it? If I meet another dude and they see all these videos, how are they going to feel about me? So how are they going to think about me? Status, how are they going to feel about me? Because we are accountable and responsible to each other, particularly as Africans. It takes a whole village to raise a child. So interpersonal effectiveness, emotional regulation, distress tolerance, and mindfulness. So, but distress tolerance, but you hold it in. I remember this week, there was something, this week, there was something that was eating me up. My way, it was churning me up. And it's something that I needed to talk to my dear about. I felt like, you know what, I need to talk to him about this because it's really getting on my nerves. But he just had a bereavement last week. So do I bring my tiny little, I'm upset about this, in front of my dear? So my distress tolerance is like, come on, G, hold it together. Going to support him through his grief. And then, when it's appropriate, so what did I do? Like a sunga distress tolerance. I was recognizing the emotions. When I felt like I wouldn't talk to him. Iwewe, find your way. Do the right thing. You understand? Because you can and you should. And for those that are Christian, the Bible speaks about guard the affairs of your heart with all diligence. Distress tolerance. And I'm so upset. What is this temporary thing going to help somebody who's bereaved? So, candid. When I spoke about it, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I overlooked this. I'm going to sort it out. You understand? It's just an example. So what am I trying to say? Wise mind, emotion mind, rational mind. You have to recognize that's what I'm trying to explain here. And then communicate it. And I didn't say, hey, Sha, I need your help. But the way you do this is really boring. And I've been watching it. And you put it in a way that is rational. And didn't want to trigger, but up in a more defensive mode or to anger mode. Because kana trigger munu. they ain't gonna talk. Goodness knows if he's going to have the next visit nanandi. So ndo mamwe kama mubairo, behavior consequence. For anything and everything that you do, there's a consequence to your behavior. But ichicha tanga before the behavior. Ndo pane nyaya yese sarudza zvekuita zviri wise first. A lot of people are like, oh, Zimbabwe is so terrible. So what was the antecedent? Handiti pakaitwa ko. And then we ousted RGM. Ndova vanhu vaita zvavakaita, the military ndova yaita zvayakaita. And now military yakuti ata ichiti binya. And things are so expensive. There's a brand new tax coming in here, 2.5% on civil servants' wages. Antecedent, cool. Behavior, takaenda kuma elections, panga pasina kuitwa ma reforms, consequences. Unochemera ani andi makaenda kuma elections. Unochemera ani. So now we are distressed. How are we managing the distress? We can't manage the distress. People are dying in the hospitals. The doctors are not being paid. It works across the board. Even kubasa, you are perpetually late. Perpetually late. You don't even explore, why am I always late? So antecedent, when the alarm goes off, you switch it off. You are late 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Behavior, you are late. Consequence, no job. So now you are jobless. So who do you blame? So a lot of us, we are doing this. You are taking your sweetheart for granted. You're not looking after him. You're not pampering him. Other ladies now give him attention. Oh, he looks so good. Chi, and he's off. Wow, oh, and he left me. She goes, hey, hello. Take some responsibilities there. So guys, please do your thing while you've got time. Some common charity said, for every action there is a reaction. There certainly is. But even in that reaction, you still have a choice. Kuti, do I respond in the emotional mind? Do I respond in the wise mind? Or do I reason through it and create a rational mind? Because rational mind is that thing where you are really balanced. I used to be married to a scientist. Baba Chiko was a metallurgy engineer. He created the finest method of purifying gold. He was always rational. He could never get into emotional. And you know how I am. I always try to get him to laugh at all of this. It's such an effort. People, scientists and people who do statistics and methodology, they are hard work because they want to see reason. They want to see angles, projections, and geometry. And so I had to learn from him. Could sometimes don't be emotional, not so reason now, take your time. And so you might not behave or act in the way that would normally satisfy you. But the rational mind, a progression. That's why you see some people, they're able to save, they're able to start up their business, and they're able to travel the world. And you say, but we are in the same job. Because I know reason, I know plan, I need discipline, I know jinyima. Whereas if you're in the emotional mind, you're all over the place. Fake unakana ma savings, but fake a sharp shoot, my designer labels, what. Ndokwa zvinozoenda ikokoko. Paunozomiswa newisdom ndo paunozoti, oh, I think I need a funeral policy because I did GoFundMe. I think I need kumboseva zvizodai. So I think ndiri kuda land kuZimbabwe saka ndichaita izvo ndichaenda kuBhawa ndichadai. So wakutanga kufunga manje. So it's not just about relationships where you use these concepts of mind states. Use them everywhere. Saka interpersonal effectiveness, emotional mind, distress tolerance, and mindfulness. Ngati chitarisai antecedent behavior consequence. So now chapvondoka. This is the news. How are they going to repair? Do they want to? Isusu, do we want them to repair, or do we want to keep having fodder? Gossip. Yekungoramba chingotaura tichiseka ma-problems evamwe vanhu. Tisingasolve ma-problems e-coronavirus. Tisingasolve ma-problems ekuZimbabwe. Yes, what's the exchange rate? But vanhu vaswera all night vachiwacha ma-videos aya. Why? Because it's feeding your emotional mind. You're getting distracted. Hausi kufunga dzako namo. Uri kumbofunga, hey, I thought I had it bad, but hey, ya uyuyu. Chikuru ndechekuziya kuti apana munhu asina kana health condition. Everybody ane health condition. Ya uyuyu yangonzi HIV. Big deal. How many people are living with HIV and are very happy? I pray that Olinda is not going to be destabilized and lose her confidence. Because now the HIV tribe has now got another beautiful lady to champion their cause. Kwakuina my Titi was very confident with HIV. Achinatsoratidza kuti ini ndinodya so ndopfeka so and I'm not here to feel sorry for myself. Ona imba yangu chichi zvinhu zvake zvichitofaya. So can you imagine if Olinda gets to that state of emotional mind, we spin out, I actually want this to have a good outcome. Oshansa wisdom, Oshansa rational mind, urukirira doiri rake re charitable organizations. Wouldn't she be such a wonderful advocate for HIV? That's how you need to look at all of these things. I had one of my relatives tested positive. They thought this was the end of the world. They started taking medication to numb emotions. Are very strong, but they are too strong. So one time akanoka and everybody thought angafa. So we always laugh about this with my brother. He baptized him. Famunyika mvura 1. That's Tete Rasta. Takamunyika maichiko ndakamunyika mvura inotonhora 2. 3. And after that vatamhanya naye kwadhokota vanotestwa zvikanzi ndo zviripo tikati listen here, don't be an idiot, get out of this emotional state of feeling sorry for yourself. Iyi mishonga, this is what you do, eat this will help you, medical treatment, regular checks. Shift the mind state, distress tolerance, emotion regulation, mindfulness. Kumbotora nguva uchifunga, do nothing, meditate. Vamwe munonamata, yeah, meditate, think upon it, pray upon it. I decided, look, thanks guys, I'm going to live my life. I've got too much to live for. I ain't going to kill myself. If there's anybody who's got more hunger for life, manjin dear, because akurarama in extra time. You understand? So even if what's his name, Titan, feels bad about what has happened, find a way to turn it around, sweetheart. It's not the end of the world. Find a way even to apologize. Kanana Rumbi, if you feel that maybe you went too far, name you off to apologize. Why? Because she's a sister. Ndimai nandika. Ndibaba nandika. Munu muzimba. Love thy neighbor. Love your neighbor as much as you love yourself. Love yourself first and foremost. Kana uchizvida, you should know kuti the next person deserves as much love as you give yourself. Otherwise, you're pretentious. We don't want to know you. So that's that one. So the repair is very personal. And I think the repair, none of us are ever going to get involved in that. Even my third party is Vangawachita engineer. I don't think there's room for you for the repair. It's going to be between them when they're good and ready. And somebody's going to find themselves apologizing and not having their apology received. Bear in mind, emotional state. Approach with caution because inenge yanyoka kainokukobora teke mirira nguva iribo tumana tete tumana sekuru ndikutoona mbudzi dzichiendeswa dzichitinhwa kuenda kumusha kwevamwe vanhu. If it's going to mean anything really culturally, now we're looking at tradition and culture, toripa nemombe dia. And this is the bit where a lot of people, they think Tete Rasta munonyanyotaura nezvechikaranga nezvechi. When there's an offense, even if it's an emotional offense or whatever, ukatadzira munhu, you apologize. But culturally, we want to see something, give them something. This is why you find men, they buy their women cars, Mercedes Benz. But dzinza rinoda kukunzi wo sorry. So sorry yana Titan na Olinda ichanetsa because vanhu vanga vachishushana for the longest time, you understand? So you don't even know who owes who the apology. Because vekwanankomo have had their name dragged in the mud. Pamwe kuchadoda kutinhwa mombe koko kunzi sorry zvenyu. Taikira mwana wenyu panze, tichimuita say what is alleged and so on. So an apology is not confined to gender. And it's the most humane and the most beautiful thing you can do. And this is the bit where you'll be like, oh my God, do I have to do this? And you find that it's going to be painful for just a little while. And after you say to each other, so sorry, you start talking. I remember when Baba Chico and I, we got to that stage of saying sorry to each other. I said, you know what? I can't believe that I behaved like that. I'm so sorry. And he was like, you know, I'm so sorry. We were not coming back together, but we were just coming to that interpersonal effectiveness to say, look, actually, tinemwana together, and he's a combination of both of us. Saka sorry. So that allows you to now to pick up the phone. Mwana arwara kana kuti yes ndiri ku UK ndoda kumboona mwana masununguka maona manje, rather than putting children in exile because of your pride. Saka that's ubuntu garai mugwara. So I just got a little summary. Hey, this thing has gone on longer than what I thought. I'm going to come to your comments, guys. Just let me bullet point the last few points. So I said, any lessons that we've learned from my Nandi and Baba Nandi? Have we learned any lessons at all? I feel like a school teacher. Have you learned anything at all? One, don't laugh, because mangwana it could be you. Munoziva kuti sometimes pane mamhepo anongosimudzwa so chiro chenyu changa chichifamba zvakanakisisa chobva changotanga kushata, and you're like, oh, what's happening? Isu vamwe vematare tinobva tatanga kubvunza kuti aikazve asi pane vasimudza mhepo here. Iyo nyaya yekuita mamarriages muchibuditsa progress yenyu in the public domain. Munoziva kuti kazhinji vanhu vavengi vanokuitirai masdengeni. They'll come and they jinx your marriage. How can somebody be married? How can somebody be married to somebody whose net worth is 26 million? Choose to live under a bridge. What could have gone wrong when they were so madly in love? Pane mhepo dzakasimudzwa. And you find that maybe sometimes zvinhu zvechikaranga zvoda kugadziriswa. Some of you be like, oh God, here she goes again. I'll say it again for emphasis. Sometimes pane zvechikaranga zvinoda kugadziriswa. I'll say this. One of the things that I heard fairly recently was, pane vamwe madzisekuru nehama kana ana baba kana ana mai vanoromba, they make their daughters spiritual wives kune zvikwambu kana kuti kuita miko. This is the vanhu vanoenda kunganga and all of this. So they would dedicate like me kuti chikwambu uyu ndiye mukadzi wako uzvizvi, ramba uchitipa luck rebusiness. So then you find she never gets married. If she gets married, it doesn't last. She finds the finest guys. Munhu anogeza, munhu akangonaka saOlinda, akangonaka saTete Rasta, but hazvisi kuita agare mumba. Then you're like, what's wrong? Maybe it's not even temper, kana kuti zvese zvanga zvinhongwa nababa Nandi zvokuti akazondisiya panze zvikazodai, so mhepo iya inenge yasimuka. Sometimes handisi kuti zvamai Nandi ndizvozvo, but sometimes unenge uine mudzimai wako mumba ende anongoita zvimwe zvinhu zviri fani. Chikwambo cheche chinenge chakukurwisai kuti iwe une mukadzi wangu. I'm going into the spiritual stuff. For those of you who are Christian, you have to, what do you call it? You have to, to kubvisa mademon. To exorcise the demon. We are talking Chikaranga, we are talking Christianity as well. You have to deliverance. That's the word. Deliverance. Namatirai vanhu. Maybe zviri kuna Tytane. And sometimes munodanana netumwe tuvanhu tunozokupingai kuti akandiramba Grace, she will never marry. Kandiramba ini, kundiramba ini. Okujinxaka because you've been getting intimate with person. Sexual interaction is a very spiritual and holy event. Pane vamwe vanhu vanenge vachitoita muttering under their breath. Wozoona kubvira pandakarambana naningi hanzi ndatombocheuka kana kuroorwa kana kuitwa sei. Blaza vanenge vakashereketa vachida kuti wavo muzodzoka kwavari. Enough of that. Let's move on quickly before I lose my audience. So this relationship has been toxic, without a doubt. Toxic communication has been the hallmark of this Tytane and Olinda debacle. We know that there was toxicity when she was with Stana. So kashiri kanemuriro iyayo is all I got to say. Figure that one out. Financial abuse is one thing to be careful of. Guys, if you are meeting up with somebody, whether it's a younger man that you decide to date, ita due diligence yako around financial abuse or visa acquisition abuse. Kana uchidana murume ari diaspora o murume ari diaspora uda munhu ari kuZimbabwe, ita due diligence yako. Pane vamwe vanhu vari kutokuteyai paFacebook nedzimwe nzvimbo. Lure you in. Hanzi ndataite ndakanyengwa kudm. Kuzodaro manje Tete Rasta vanenge vabatwa nditsesa. Where's my sympathy? I need my sympathy to hit back again. But listen, guys, The point is this. You don't know kuti uchasangana nemunhu kupi. Saka maida kuti vasangane kubhawa. Zvanga zvichabuda here. And when you look at Nandi, you see, I really hope they make up because vakafitana zvisingaite. Tikaita zvimwe zvivana zvakaita saNandi nevamwe vacho handisati ndavaona zvangu. But kambeu kekuZimbabwe kanenge kachibuda stondido sharpshoot. So the issue around financial abuse or the allegations around financial abuse and visa abuse, I think Zimbabweans, we've also been very unkind to Tytane because we've been so busy accusing him of all this. What if he just really, really loved this woman? And yes, he's accused of having had other people here and there. He is a young man. He was taking his time to choose. Amuziva kuti pane vamwe vanhu vanosangana nevanhu 3 or 4 oita process of elimination over 6 months ozoti uyu ndiye wandiri kuda chaiye uyu. And then all our negatives vakangomira vese, we are like, ari kuda visa. Can you imagine if that was you uine sweetheart wako uchingonzi ari kuda visa, ari kuda mari, ari kuda chi? It takes the manhood away from him. It emasculates him. And so I think as Zimbabweans, we need to take responsibility from this example here, Tytane, and jump maybe kuna maititi. Kuti maititi vazwanira sharp guy, dude. They're married or getting married, I don't know. They're coming to the UK. But tichawanikwa futi tichiita flap our gums. What if they really genuinely love and they're going to make a good go of it? Do we really want to be saying, oh, he wants to just ride on her fame? Yeah, didn't you want to ride on his fame? Didn't she want to ride on your fame? You know, we need to give others a chance in life. Life is so hard. And some of you don't even know half the struggle that people are dealing with. All these videos that we are going to, tichitera kunana mvenge, tichitera kunana Zimbo Live, tichitera kune dzimwe nzvimbo who just do gossip. It will have contributed to the death of a brother or a sister. And pa Ubuntu, health, wealth, and happiness, culture, and tradition. It's just like we've put the knife in their backs. So some of us, we are missing the point that all this technology is there to entertain us, but it's not the be-all, it's not the end-all. And there's life. And sometimes we can do something to tip them over the edge or just to hold them. Grace, don't jump off the bridge. Why? Let's go for a coffee. Koindao, why are you so sad? Shanda, she dies when she dies. No, don't worry. Oh, kaka ningirikini, kaka 100 pounds aka ningirikini. Tytane, you don't have somewhere to sleep. Come sleep on my couch. Whatever it takes to get the brother out of that quagmire. He's been hustling, trying to create his brand and his business. Some of you have been boycotting his shows. This guy was somebody in Zimbabwe. He was a celeb, a real celebrity in Zimbabwe with a life, with contracts. You understand? So I think if anything, Zimbabweans, we need to look at ourselves honestly and say, is this the best that we can be? Jumping from one gossip to another, putting people down. So financial abuse, let's put it in good measure. It's okay to marry somebody and it's okay to be married by somebody and and it's not that anybody or everybody who gets attached is after the bag. Physical abuse, you'll be watching each other in your houses muchiitirana physical abuse. Atidi vanhu vari kuurayana again. But some people are like, he must go back to the house. But if he didn't feel safe, let him go. If Olinda feels that this is not the mix, let her ask him to leave. And then let them lead their life. You can't divorce somebody or dismiss someone from your life and then to prevent them from moving on with their life. This guy was barely 30. He needs to get on with his life. Madame is just 36. She needs to get on with her life, and she can and she will, if she chooses the right mind state. Wise mind, emotion mind, rational mind. And if you all want to stay in lasting relationships or friendships, vanhu vari always in the emotional mind, you are hard work. Ndimi muno avoidwa nevanhu. In case you all didn't know, ndimi mune zvinhu zvisingalaste. And sometimes it's better to be an introvert, because you just deal with you, yourself, and I. You don't have to go to third parties. So psychological abuse is a big thing. Sexual abuse is another big thing, because there's some people who are economically dependent on their other half, so they can't say bye-bye, shamarina chada nezvako pfeke, because rent iri kubva kakune munhu iyeye, the roof over your head, the food on your plate, the bus pass, uyo anga achitaura kuti taiti nakachiona chitsvuku, hanzi ndiri kufamba zvangu, my phone, I can't even access my phone because line radzima. If it's true somebody has got issues, kumva waita utsinye hwekuti munhu ari out in the cold asina juice womudzimira phone. Eish. When you start seeing and hearing stories of men in diaspora being miserable or drinking a lot or not coming home, or having ma small houses, ndo zvimwe zviri kusimudza mhepo. Zvimwe zvinhu ndezvedzinza. Kunyika kunoku kune chimhepo, kune chimweya chiri anti-marriage. Saka that's it around the toxic communication. Let me just read a few of your points and then ndakuchivhara. Nice to see so many of you. I don't know kuti mainge ipano, because usually ka session ka Tete Rasta it's just me and my little friends, but you're welcome. You're welcome to continue following me. Inini zvangu ndoita nezve health, wealth and happiness. I infuse health education, health promotion, because that's my background. And ndinoita zvekuvaka, zveculture netradition, handiite zvemaviews necessarily. Sisi Adele, salute my darling. You said going school run, musadzime Tete Rasta. Inini ndichatodzima because ndiri kuenda kunight nurse. Mercy says, today I am so unlucky. I keep missing you. I hate this. I'm so sorry, darling. I have been off Facebook for February because February is Facebook free, so that's why. But I'm back in March. Trust me, I am back. We'll be doing our 4-hour marathons and sorting out this house. Masivanda. Carrie says, oh, so we do commit emotional offenses. Wasn't aware of that important point. Oh, absolutely. And sometimes you can commit an emotional offense, but because you're not checking if your partner is okay, you are neglecting them in their eyes. Where you are oblivious to anything or everything. So when I was talking to my dear, he was like, I didn't even realize like this. I'm going to do this and do this. Are you okay with that? I was like, no, do this, but don't go so far. Perfect. Peace, eternal peace. So I can manage my emotions. So, one thing we need to know is we need to learn how to manage each other's emotions. And even as parents, even as anatete, even as anasekuru, you socialize children into how they react. Pane vamwe vanongo overreacta because havana kutsiurwa, havana kuudzwa, especially vamwe vanongobaya. Pane vamwe vanhu vaama adults who are so spoiled, they always get their own way. And they will destroy anybody and anything because they think that they got to be right. So, as parents and as custodians of the community, sometimes we are letting the young down by not being strict. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Auntie Chosin, you said Tete Redu Marova. Yeah, I'm back. Well, I've got a couple more days of my Facebook leave and then I shall come. But I thought, let me hit this on its head. Because a lot of people are looking at, this one is my favorite person, this one's my favorite person. But on a psychological level and on a healing level, I think that certain times we go too far. And sometimes tofana kuzvidzora. And certainly, pane zvese zvanga zvichiitika apa hazvina unhu, hazvina gwara, and that's why zvinhu zviri kushata like this. Buti Gary, you are so good today. Ngiyabonga kakulu. You said, Tete, you are blessed with talent of articulating stuff in real Tete. I wish you adopt Oli and Jabulo and help them with their lives. You know what? I made myself available to third parties who knew them. Somebody even came to my inbox, but they never came back. I'm still here. I do this for some of this for free on Facebook. I'm going to inbox, or we talk things through. If it's in line with my professional expertise, I talk you through. I talk through sessions. I've even helped guys who were having problems at work around all of these things. Sometimes when you're at work and you're dealing with racism, They wind you up and trigger you. So you are now in the emotional mind, Kubasa. You can't work very well. You can't think clearly. Maybe you start not sleeping very well and being late for work. They wind you up. So then your wise mind starts failing you. Your rational mind starts failing you. Wait for constructive dismissal. So those are some of the areas that I do. When I used to be a manager, this was fodder to twandaingoita. So I'm always happy to help like that, as long as you are serious. Around twice, 3, 4, 5 times. If people are going for any tribunals, because it's all about kuchengeta musha wedu wemadzimba. Right. So Marcy asked the question. She says, can someone's vulnerability also entice abusive personalities to your life? I see both had vulnerabilities that made them target to each other. You missed the first part, didn't you? So I said there were some red flags, Marcy, when I started the program. You can go back and visit it. I'll just recap for those of you who've come late. The red flags were, don't enter a relationship with someone to be a savior. So Jabulo wanted to be a savior. He wanted to save Mainandi, before she was Mainandi, from the trauma of what he perceived to have happened to her at the hands of Stana. She was distraught. She needed a loving and lovely man. And there he was. I'm going to be your knight in shining armor. Did he do his due diligence? I don't think so. OC as well, she'd just come out of that tortuous relationship. She didn't give herself a lot of time. Some people say, I'm ready. You are not ready until you are healthy. You are exuding good energy. And you're not finding the need to always be in the public. Neediness, especially kari so public and dysfunctional. Kanotaurira vamwe vedu tine the psychological eye. Kuti, I'm not buying this. Some of you saw my video, which I did at the very beginning when the Stana and OC fell apart. And people didn't like me because I said, you know what? Kana warorwa. Zvese zvako ndezvenyu nemurume wako. You can't go now and say, iyi mota yangu, iyi imari yangu, ichi ndechangu. Kana waroorwa ndezvenyu mese iwe nemurume wako, if you are following the African penances. So shiri nemuririro wayo, imba yangu, get out, move out, get out. Yeah? Do you treat your husband like that? Do you even treat strangers like that? Or your friends visit you and say, get out, something's not right. Even if Tytane's story is not full of truth, the level of injury that he has spoken about and the repeated things that we've been seeing on Facebook, injury to one another public, it's been psychological abuse played out publicly. Marcy, you're absolutely right. They were unfortunate. Maybe they were just in the right place at the wrong time. Because when they were happy, they were damn happy. Oh my God. Or maybe marinate out ufare. I don't know. But, to now see where we are and where they came from is a thing. So here's to answer your question. Don't get into a relationship to be a savior. And don't jump into a relationship if you rebound, if you're on the rebound, because you cause a lot of problems for other people. And for those of you who think, she anogeza, akaita seko, anochena, anodrive moto yakanaka, what, therefore everything else is okay. People that are broken have become very sophisticated. They buy nice clothes, they drive nice cars, they have beautiful homes. So the outside is wonderful. The mirrors are shining, but inside there's a broken person who can then manifest as a narcissist, controlling, abusive. And to the world, because you are living in this wonderful world, you've got everything. But guys, people don't believe you because he provides for you or she provides for you. Then you become the ungrateful so-and-so until you're almost killed. You understand? So guys, be careful. You guys are going to need to look out for my book. Because there was one time I thought I was ready for a relationship. I almost died. I was almost killed. Because when you are broken, I think pane kamwe ka invisible mark somewhere on your forehead. Kanongoratidza vamwe vanhu vari prone to taking advantage. Let me take advantage. Oh my God. Because then when you are broken and then you start getting better, if someone's got controlling issues, they're going to want to keep shutting you down, controlling you. You can't wear that. You can't do this. Where are you going? They drive you everywhere. And you're thinking, people are like, oh, and he really loves you. He drives you everywhere. No, Jerry, please get me out of here. I don't want this anymore. And all my family were like, oh, but he's the ideal man. Oh my God, he was terrible. Nyaya dzacho dzikatozosvika kumapurisa uko chazoverenga bhuku racho. And some of you are like, oh, you speak so well. It's an area of expertise. Tell me about a toxic relationship that almost kills you. Please. Guys, the best thing you can do is be kind to yourself. If you're not ready, stay away so that you don't have those vulnerabilities shining out to people. It's like a homing device. I'm vulnerable. I've got millions or I've got thousands. I've got a house, I've got a car, I've got a visa. Come and be with me. And then those opportunities will come. Kuna predators out there, especially my West African men. They're doing some crazy stuff with sisters all over the place. And also now, if you are a guy and you're a really good guy, and you can see some of these things, let them be red flags to you. I also talked about check the track record yemunu wa data before you go deep. What's their track record? Have they left a whole M1 full of broken hearts and ladies vakuchema nezita rake? You remember that story? I didn't follow it so much because I've been on this leave. And there were a number of ladies vakazinge vakuchema nezita remurume wa Bev. That was the other one. Bev. Bev's husband. People were like, oh my God, what akazondidai so zvikazodai so munhu ane track record yake shirai chinje muririro yayo. So leopards don't change their spots. I also spoke about the Ben 10 phenomenon. Let me just touch on this a little bit deeper. I'm going to do a program on cougars. Cougars are the older women who date younger men. Ben 10s are the younger men who are dating older women. I was doing some research. I'm going to come back to you and talk to you in more depth about this phenomenon. It's growing. Kudara zvaitonyadzisa kuti you're dating a younger man. He's younger than you. By what? How many years? 10? 15? Oh, is he younger than you by 2 years? By 6 months? By 1 month? But the older men are becoming very complacent in being attentive to women. So the younger men are coming with some je ne sais pourquoi. French. They know the right spots to hit. They pay attention. They play music. They take you out. They go for meals. Vanogeza. And hands of bedmatics zinenge dzichirira ngoma like never before. But there are some young men who are now making it an enterprise to look for the older woman. Because usually kana madzimai asvika a certain age, like my age ana Olindaya, my age ana Tete Rasta, and so on. Unenge wa financially secure. Yeah. How do we have an easy ride, darling? I don't know vana vakura or vakutoti kurei. You got a lot of money at your disposal. Yes, of course, anenge achiuya one yake, but mukazobatanidza zvatosiyana nemunhu asina kana kuti dating an 18-year-old anenge achida kupiwa mari yebhazi. Saka there's some financial opportunities as well for the younger men who are dating the older women. Some young men just find the young girls boring. So they want the older women. These were 1 or 2 things here and there. Life experience. Or the older women are just really good at planning. She will make a man. So I'm not saying this to disrespect people that are going out with the younger man. Tamba inorira. Do what you want. But pay due diligence. Because tumwe Ben 10 truya neparadigms akapenga. And because hakuna evidence yakawanda, you're falling for it. And hanzi vanhu vari kurohwa bhegi zviya and chataura nezvema exhibit. You can read between the lines. So also the public life I talked about, and not taking counsel. Somebody who doesn't take counsel is as good as a dead horse. Let them swim in their dung, because apana kwa kuenda. And in the end they start blaming you. Oh, Tete Rasta, you didn't help us, you didn't counsel us, but I made myself available. You didn't make yourself available. So clearly your dysfunction wasn't important to you. So now that you've gone and tried to kill yourself, you want to blame it on me? So wise mind, emotional mind, and rational mind Don't get dragged into dysfunctional people's lives too much, because vanokuzora dope. They'll smear you with dung and leave you smelling of poop. When they are adults, they should know better, or they should learn 1 + 1 equals to 2, 2 + 2 equals to 4, 5 + 10 is not 12. Yeah, and then manage their life. Ukadzidziswa ka1 natete, you should not be found doing it again. Ukadzidziswa ka1 nasekuru kuti mukadzi anofadzwa so unodai so mukadzi wako will never complain the bonde is dead, because warairwa. So this is where a lot of you are getting it wrong. And then lastly, I want to just say big up to Tytane. That video was good quality. I want to say big up to Rumbi. That video was good interview, but I think you had vested interest, so it kind of didn't come out too sincere to me. Kuti, you are the lawyer, you are counseling this guy, and now you're interviewing him. But I guess for confidentiality, it made sense for you to be asking the questions. You're quite tough, which is great. I can't wait for your next show. Hopefully, we're not going to have somebody else disclosing about their partner's sexual status. But hey, it's their story. This is the thing about rights. Even if Chico decided to come out and tell you things about me that he felt he'd had enough, I need to tell the world, let him. Maybe I will have pushed him to that point of saying, I just need to take this off my shoulders. Sometimes we push people in that way, we don't even realize it. Yes, status, and you think you didn't push somebody to their tipping point. Please, pane vamwe vanhu vari toxic who cry babies. Takuzivai. I also wanted to say that Rumbi's show had aims and objectives. I don't think her show was meant to humiliate. It was more about educating. But kastondido akakike health status yemunhu ndokazoita kuti zvinhu zvimba zvati boom kaboom, zvaita seHiroshima naNagasaki kwakaputidzwa zinuclear bomb riya kana nenona vandatonzi Tete Rasta mbobudai mukasabbatical, can you sure you are an alternative voice? Saka ina handisi voice reku kiss kuti you've done the right thing, Tytane, you've done the right thing, Olinda. Zvamuri kuita hazvina hunhu. Stop it, as my other Sasita Grace said. So, the questions that I'm going to say now as I close is personal healing going to happen for Olinda? Is personal healing going to happen for Tytane? If personal healing doesn't happen, I foresee a tragedy. And handisi kutaura sagodobori. Because pane vanhu vari kufambisa mbiri yekuti Tete Rasta wati. If people are not mindful, they don't manage their distress, and they don't recognize their emotions, they don't exercise interpersonal effectiveness, unozopedzisira wacreata a noose around your neck, wozonyara kakubuda futi paFacebook, wozonyara kuve socialite, wozotanga kuita suicidal, kana kutoenda psychiatric unit, kana kutojumba off the bridge into the Thames, kana kutotora overdose nasi manheru chaiyo, kana kutotora alcohol and drugs, kana kungoita reckless, sexually promiscuous. Some of you think, where do all these vices come from? Munhu anenge asvika papoint of no return. So, do you see? Wise mind, emotional mind, rational mind. Ukasanyatsozvikoshesa unosvika papoint izvi. Vachatarisana sei nevanhu vari kuZimbabwe. And you see, this is the thing about this generation of ours. Havana nyadzi. They can do things that are so abhorrent and so disgusting, and then jump on a plane, go to Zimbabwe and greet everybody like they didn't do anything. But they've cost the family name decades of goodwill and social uprightness. So I hope these guys are going to work themselves out and sort it all out. Personal healing is paramount, because when you are healed personally, you now develop the capacity to go somewhere to someone else and say, you know what, I'm really sorry. That was so childish of me. It was so out of order. I really didn't mean it. No matter how much you hurt me, you will always be the father of my children. No matter how you hurt me, you will always be the mother of my children. And because of that, level, do you think that there isn't a lot that I could be saying about my outlaws? Oh my God. Those would have been the most sensational Facebook posts that I have ever made. But I made a pact to myself that, my son is paramount. And that name that he carries is very important. And I have no business because of whatever I went through, to disrespect and disregard that name. So I pray that Tytane and Olinda vanobata hunhu ihwohwo. That's Ubuntu, where all you have is your name. That's why when women get married, you surrender, you give away your name to take his name. And once you've got that name, you don't want to keep changing the names, changing this one, changing. But relationships and marriage are hard work. Yeah, but zita iroro rawapiwa harisi rengoita zvekuita naro, because harisi rako, nderevaridzi. Even inini I still carry mupfurutsa, but harisi zita rangu, ndere madzitateguru angu. My brothers, they are the ones with the mupfurutsa name. Varora vangu, vazukuru vangu, the mupfurutsa name belongs to them. So everything that I'm doing, they'll be like, mupfurutsa, ndiye here mupfurutsa, mwana watendai mupfurutsa barbed wire, Jones, and then everybody will be like, but I want to think that the things that I do are congruent with my purpose. And I know that although sometimes I appear to touch on difficult things, my family understand. Those that don't worry, they shall come around. But you have a right to protect the name that you carry and the children's name, and to respect the father of your child or your children, and to respect the mother of your child or your children, irrespective of what video they do. So I'm worried about the children. How are they going to conceptualize all of this? My God, what a minefield. So Olinda is not the only person affected by this video. The children are affected too, because they are in the same household. And Tytane's going to be rocking up there one of these good days, trying to pick up the kid to go on daddy daycare or access in Chabvondok. Did he have to? Wise mind, emotional mind, rational mind. What do you think, guys? Did he have to do the video? Just type yes or no. Yes, he had to. And no, I don't think he should have done. And then the repair of the reputation. He's a musician, an aspiring, world-renowned, potential artist. He's got to clean up his act. That boy is talented. I love that song, Kubata Bo. I just imagine wangu achindiimbira ndokubata bo. So how can somebody with such oozing, with such talent, end up in such a dysfunctional state? So this is where I was saying, guys, as we say, kanwe, you never know. Even Tete Rasta went through that. But that's part of my story. And that's why I'm able to talk about some of these things and fuse my personal life with my skills, because that's my mission, do purpose yangu. And I'm not embarrassed about it, because that's why God gave me those experiences. Those pandakazodai so zvikazodai so indi mu health zvinonzi so, because it's now congruent. When you've been a patient and you are the professional and you're an expert, chinonyatsobuda chidweri chako. So can they ever forgive one another? I don't know. The spiritual guardians of them, the two and the children and the extended family, you guys have got your work cut out. Your forgiveness is so lovely when you're reading about, forgive others, forgive me, please. But kana warwadziswa to that point where you want to explode. Can you forgive? Does he deserve to be forgiven? Does she deserve to be forgiven for not telling me her HIV status? Some of you are living happily in your houses now, but makazorwa, he didn't tell you. Akaiunza. You found it new to forgive him. And life goes on. So ndochikuri chochocho. Life goes on. Even paubuntu tinoregererana zvekuregerana futi zvekuti, and we take a little goat and we say, sorry, look, eat. Forgive me. Or cows, showing that you are remorseful. And it also acts as a deterrent, so that mangwana, you're not going to be offending people quickly. Can they ever heal? That's neither here nor there. I tell you, the thing about healing is that sometimes you have a scar. Ukangobatwa like this, sheesh, it triggers you off. And knowing Olinda and what she went through with Stana, this is going to trigger her scars from, because it mirrors the betrayal that she experienced at the hand of Stana, or alleged, or it mirrors the hurt that she perceived and experienced. It was her choice to respond in the way that she did. Stana equally felt a victim. Yeah. So I guess the person who's having the last laugh is Stana to say, "Mfana ndakakudza." Don't go there, boy. Kona inini days, the days ndakatiza mamillion. Do you think I was stupid? So, that's another attitude. Is now we don't want to be laughing at others because they got a lot of work to do. And we need to give them space and time to work through that. And then the second from last point is the extended family. They are casualties. How do you say sorry to the extended family? And those people that have got names like Nkomo, and they're not even they're not even related to Tytane. I'm so sorry, guys. You're gonna suffer. But at least he carries his his artist name, so maybe the damage won't be so bad. And then the last point is that this is not entertainment. I told you that I'm laughing because I'm nervous. These issues, they make me anxious. And if you were doing this show, you would find it difficult to think, focus on this, and talk about things that are serious without being anxious. So I'm going to read the last few points and then I'm going to say goodbye. Is that okay? Yeah. So, Nhlanhla, ngiyabonga kakhulu, you said Linda thinks she's too big in small town. Oh, wow. I'm not even going to comment on that one. But thank you for your contribution. I know exactly what you mean. My baby sister Lynn Achiworo says forgiveness is a lifetime process. There will always be reminders and triggers that take us back to that place. It's learning to move on. That's paramount. Absolutely. And you and I share reams and reams of life stories and experiences. But we are champions. We overcame. And my sister was so excellent. She always picked me up when I had the greatest disappointments. This is the bit where family are so important, that sometimes you'll be going through stuff and you think, I want to bring it to Facebook. You will win a lean wako, win a baby sister that you can talk to. So guys, don't be lofty and think I'm not going to talk to my sisters. Yeah, I was at a wedding, they didn't invite me, or they overlooked me per kitchen party, or they went for a bachelor party, they didn't. Times like this, you need your blood, especially. Marcy, thank you for your comment. You said, yes, I believe he should have done the video. Oh, interesting. It's his truth. Now he can listen to his words and see his truth. He had a right to take the risk with his healing process. Marcy, I agree with you. I think that as adults, you have the right to make difficult decisions. And in a lot of ways, men that feel abused bottle things up to an extent that, it can even affect their expression of sexuality. They can't even get, they can't function as a man because of the stress. So some of you've listened to my videos that have spoken about things that may have been quite personal. I know I've talked videos about the loss of my parents and lots of other stuff that I've spoken about, some of my struggles as a single parent. That's what Marcy is pointing at. You'll be saying, but Grace, why are you talking about such personal things? Because I'm now over them. And it's okay for me to share them with you, because then you might find it okay to get through what you are going through. And because it no longer makes me cry, and because God prepared me, and because my career prepared me, I know how to say it and put it in a way that helps somebody. Even if it helps one person, datopedza live yangu. Ndauya ku live yoyo for that one person. You see, ndo utete wati kuti know where to go. Fari, I haven't seen you before on a live. You said even though he was pushed, he should have thought of the kids. Ipapa disclosure, I think that's where I've got that personal struggle. But it is right. It's his story. He was saying, I wasn't told. You understand? And let me share this with you. there are some people that are busy offending other people, thinking that nobody is going to out them. This is why a lot of people become abusive. Bullies and abusers, they think, right, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it again and mistreat Grace, and she's never going to tell people that I've done this to her. And all you see is miserable me. But we don't know what is the root cause of that misery. So now we know the root cause of this misery. And we watch the video. The children now know the root cause of this misery. Would I do a video like that? I chose not to do a very bear it all video. Even when I talk about, it's just a little snippet. But I've sat down with my son when he was older. A man. Could you listen, son? I'm sorry that you couldn't grow up in a household with mom and dad. But this is what happened. This is what I felt. And this is how life was. And some of the things now you have seen for yourself, so you draw your own conclusions. I think it's not right to paint a child's mind about a parent. They need to draw those conclusions themselves. But Skoko was exercising his right. So yeah, we can have difference of opinions and still sit on a live and share. And maybe we'll revisit what Fari is saying and reconsider. Sisi Shalom, I've missed you, darling. How are you? Salute. You said no, he didn't have to. It was not necessary and ill-advised from Rumbi. Parashwa Uhu Unu. Yes, when we go back to the penances, African penances, Parashwa Unu, big time. Do you know why our parents' marriages worked? Those old fogies used to act like everything is okay every day. And they used to have an Olinda and Tytane moment every so often. But there was never Facebook to out each other. And maybe that's the discretion our generation lacks. That maturity, that wisdom, emotional mind, rational mind, the ability to interpersonally, to effectively communicate, interpersonal effectiveness, to manage our emotions, to manage our distress, and to take time out to think and weigh up. Sure, now we celebrate 50 years of marriage, but daindaka mutamba imwe tisina vazukuru ava, tisina kuzosvika panapa, tisina kuzodai. So I'm not saying shingirira to stay in a relationship that's not working. But our generation has different tools to work with, and it's hard. But you still have a choice. You can't blame technology for your failings, because there's no technology in your heart or in your head to think, this what I want to speak on live is not good. I'm not going to do it. Even as I've spoken to you, I hope I've managed to balance my respect for Olinda and try and manage my respect for Tytane, despite what's going on and my personal views. I just felt... I've watched quite a number of videos out there, but hapana iri kutaura nezveculture neunhu neubuntu nekuedza kuvaka nekuedza kutora kuti okay, these are lemons, but let's make some lemonade and drink and learn what have we learned from these two. So I'm going to read one more point and then I'm going to finish. Francis said he did not have to do that. That was low of both of them. If you ask me, Francie, the whole debacle from the very beginning was a low blow. I think that whoever's going to next date Tytane will be worried that they're going to be a public fodder. Whoever is next going to date Olinda is probably going to be worried that they're going to be public fodder, because they've set a precedence. But yeah, such is life. Guys, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you so much for joining in the program. This is Tete Rasta. This is my Facebook page. I tend to come and just talk. Talk from the hip. But this one was too close to my area of expertise for me not to speak about it. And I wanted to play this song, Yachiwoneso, which says, Usacheme. Usacheme. If anywhere, maybe you are living with HIV. Maybe wakazorwa. Maybe you are living with cancer. Maybe you are living with depression. Maybe you feel suicidal right now and you don't know what to do. You don't know who to face. Maybe financially, you don't know what to do. You shouldn't cry. You should know who to talk to. Family first. Ana Tete, Sekuru, and Dadzi Amai. They love you as much as your mother. Ana Sekuru, Ana Mbuya, Ana Mai Guru, Ana Mai Nini, Ana Bamkuru, Ana Bam Nini. Vana even, but Msavare Medze. So, you know, there's a lot that's come out of this tragedy. I'm saddened. In fact, I'm really quite saddened by this story. But everybody going through stuff. Everybody's going through stuff. And every so often you just need a good shoulder to cry on. Somebody who will hold you and hold the pieces together so you don't fall apart. Some of us, we broke into tiny pieces, powder form. It takes you weeks and months and years to pick up. Oh, I think don't funga kanoenda up. I can't funga kanoenda up. Kama kanoenda up. And your life is on hold. And the people uchengeta mwana urkwenda kubasa. People are making demands of you. You are a manager in a service. They don't know what your private life is. And it takes you a decade to get over trauma. One is a narcissist. But it doesn't matter. It really, really doesn't matter. Chikuru ndechekuti, you have breath in you. Tytane, you have breath in you. Olinda, you have breath in you. Get over this. Find who loves you, who would sing a lullaby like this. And just nestle in them. Get counsel. Get love. Get nurturing. Shnoita. You're not the first, you're not the last to go through this. And after next week, next month, next year, this is a non-event. Atidi kuti muite zvimwe zvinhu zviri stupid moti I want to kill myself. Vana vanosara nani? Vana vanosara nani? You've done enough now. They need you. Okay? So find wisdom, your wise mind, stay there. Emotional mind, it's not good to go there because kungorine anger and hurt and pain and judgment and everything, every word that is negative description of an emotion. Don't go there. Just be wise. Rational mind, tap into that. Okay, I feel sad, but what is this about? Sometimes the hurt that you're feeling might be from hurt from years ago. But it's okay. And Tytane, if you really feel like going back home to your people, don't worry, go home. Manano Kura, she will find you. Girls love their daddies. Or things will cool down and, you'll be reconnected with your child. There's so many men out there, actually, who are living without access to their children because of this lack of managing your emotional states and your rational state, your wise mind. Wo manifestirwa namai vevana, you decide utoramwa vana murume anogara uko has involved because the person you were with can't manage their emotions, they can't manage their distress, they are not mindful, they don't communicate well, and they beat you over the head. So you think, you don't even take care of the children. Ndo chikuru chatiri kudzidza panapa kuti vabereki vanorwadzisana asi vana ndivo vari paramount. Do something. Because you are only socializing those children. When you've got problems, this is how you do it. To be honest, it's not right. It's not wise. It's dysfunctional. And even for Rumbi who did this show, if your life story was to be told like this on a video for your relatives and others, is it okay? Would it be okay? I mean, you're the practitioner. But also, as professionals, we have to weigh it out. But okay, if the shoe was on the other foot, is it okay? It served a purpose, yes. But the collateral damage, was it worth it? Would you do it again? Vana vakuchema, Olinda ari kuchema, Tytane ari kuchema, hama dzavo dzese dziri kuchema, Zimbabwe iri kuchema, vane HIV vari kuchema kuti my God, I hope wangu Buditse like this. Yeah. Bye, guys. Love you. Mwah.